Hello friends, today we are here with new video of aggregate functions. Aggregate functions are those functions which accumulate the values and displays those results. The accumulations can be done by using different aggregate functions, and the one aggregate function we already saw is count function. Count function is also a aggregate function. So let let us try some other variant of count. So let we consider we are counting select count sales as number of sales from market factful. So select count attribute name, alias name, what is you are putting it alias name, and market factful. So counting the number of rows there and specifying as number of sales. I am specifying it as a number of sales as column alias. So I want you to do remove this particular alias and see what will be the result come. You will see that result will come as count of sales. If you will remove this and count this, you will see the information as count of sales. There will be a header which is showing information count of sales. So as mentioned here, so it's not a good thing to display the name of aggregate function in the data display. The information we want to display. So we have put it as the column alias, and the name of column alias is number of sales. I hope you understood how to use column alias. To specify the particular information to particular column, rather than simply saying count, we use column alias. One thing I want to mention here is the previous variation of count star, and here we are using count sales. What is the difference between those two? How you will answer this question? So count star and count sales are some specific attribute. What is the difference between them? If you have to answer this question in your interview, what you will answer? You may say count a star. It is going to include everything in your uh, column you have, including everything that may be a null value. So on the other hand, if you say count sale, you are saying there are, so if we are saying count sales, so there will not be any count of null values. This is the null values of sales attribute. This is the difference between count star and count attribute name, which means if you specify any attribute within count, the value explicitly it will count no null values there. This means you should remember for interview purpose. What is the difference between count star and count attribute name or count sales here? So when you see there a result of the query, only one row. First we will run this. See, you are seeing this as number of sales 15, count of sales 15. So when you see the result of this query, only one row of the output, which means you are saying that I want complete aggregation of this attribute. Sometimes complete aggregation may not be of the interest. Then what I will do? I will use a new clause group by. I will use their grouped aggregation. So quick question, we have already told you what is the different clause of select query. Select query use select from, where, group by, having, and order by. Till now we have used select, from, and where. Now in coming query we are going to use group by clause. I am going to introduce you how to use group by. So we have seen that we run in aggregate function, we can also run grouped aggregation. So we are going to our next query. What are the, if we, I am asking what are the total number of customers in customer dimension table from each city. So what we will do, we can see that we will run in aggregate function. Now we will use grouped aggregation. We want count of customer as city-wise customers and city from cust dimension, which will be grouped by city. So select count attributes name, select count attribute name as column alias and city from table name group by the attribute you want the customer should be grouped. We want the customer should be grouped in city. So you should not that I can use group aggregation on multiple attribute too, which means without any grouping, it will show the total number of customer. If I want city-wise customer, then I will be doing grouping on based on city. So if I want any other attribute also used to specify, then I should like segment wise. So I can use also grouping with city, comma, segment wise. So first we will run this command, then I am going to show you what is going to happen there. See how beautifully it showed me different city with different customers. Count of customer with city wise, and it is grouped by city. So this is the application of group function. Here in single query, we are using select, we are using from, doing group by, we are using aggregate function count, we are using column alias, and we are also using preference wise. See, I mentioned you somewhere in a last video that if we are using select query, then if we are using select star from customers, from customer, it is not mandatory to show any sequence like. But if we are specifying here sequence, then it will show sequence wise. So we are going through various things in single query. I hope you understood how to use all these attributes. So now moving to our next query, I can add second attribute to the group by clause and try to display the number of customers city wise and customer segment wise, and within those segment how many of customers are there, we will count those two. So we can add one more attribute customer segment, which means if I want to do a lower level of grouping, I can do. If you remember OLAP application, we have already talked about OLAP operation earlier. So what do you think OLAP is doing initially? We looked at that total number of customers. See, then we looked at the number of customers city wise. Now we are looking number of customers city wise and as well as segment wise. So we are drilling down the data from larger aggregate value to the lower aggregate, specifying one and specifying with more attribute. So we are drilling down the data from larger functions to the lower. So what we are doing? We are doing here OLAP. We already talked about OLAP. It drill down the data. So we are drilling down the data. We are going in more details of our data. So if this is very particular and very good application of SQL query, if we want to extract data with different segment, with different attribute, with different groups, we can see. I hope you understood how to use group, how to use count, how to use column alias, how to use group by in different type of attribute. So we are going to run this command. See guys, it shows in city Kolkata, small business 617 in Mumbai, Mysore में corporate or home office consumer is very large. So we can see the result by changing small differences in our query. So this is a detailed application of count function, and we are applying to group by. So we are applying different clause of select clause, different point, and we are applying to count function, which is aggregate function, as keyword and column alias. So I think you are all clear with this. You can practice with more attribute. You can do at your own with changing various types of flows, with various changing various type of group by changing column alias there at your own end. Please do more and more practice so that you can retain more and more. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe my channel if you really like me.